What up, campers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Thank you for joining us. 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time, March 11th. And so much to talk about. NCAA just announcing the tournament will be played in front of empty stadiums, empty arenas. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Lots of things happening, especially in the NBA. Lots of late announcements. Rozier going from probable to now questionable. Embiid available. We're going to go over the goaltenders, see if there's any changes there. We're going to go over market moves. Also, KP, Big Dick Zingis, after back-to-back shit games, is not going to be in the lineup tonight for the Mavericks. They're resting him on the second of a back-to-back. So much going on and so much cash to make. Shout out to Ben Shepard. Ben Shepard first in the chat. Respect. There's Mark Unka for Garrett Kerr calling it March Sadness. Chris Brady on the Huskies +6. Moneyline is tempting at +200. And, of course, he's on the taint play of the day. I will copy and paste that right now. Huskies +6. How is that? Let me just quickly take a look at something. I have because we broke down a ton of spots, and there is no Huskies playing. You mean Washington State? And that's +10. Sorry, I got to figure out what the hell's going on. The Huskies are nowhere to be found on my card. They didn't make the PAC tournament. Their season's over. They're clowns. Chris, I need more information there. Frankie Martinez says, what was the taint play today? It was North Carolina. We're going to be talking about that. There's Joe McLean in the house. There is Nilo ready to get to work. Raven in the Desert, Drewski, Spencer Penigi, Dan Kelly says, Nets Warriors, tomorrow we'll have no spectators. I'm not sure about this chat, but maybe I'll get a coronavirus from a poster. No, you're safe. You're safe here. Safe here. There's Ron Lofton. There's our bouncer, Nasty Nate in the house. Viper NB, Gerald Jones, Double T, Johnny Rapp liking the Kings in regulation tonight. DJ 100 Grand liking North Carolina. And Washington, Arizona just started. My fault. Why did I think that? Oh, of course, they're right there. Huskies did just start. We also have Northwestern Minnesota. Sorry, that's why I didn't realize the Huskies were in action today, because I capped all the games that were going to be starting after the show pops off. So we're going to start with Northwestern Minnesota, and that's why I didn't see the Huskies in action. Sorry, I thought they were I thought they weren't coming in. I thought they were so shit this year that we weren't going to watch them play basketball anymore. I had a 70-1. From them on the beginning of the year. I blame Claude Green. We have a Liberty Finder in the house. Cashman, Chris Martinez, Anthony Mastronardi. Nice to see you. Jumping on Mavs first quarter money line. There's Randy Lockhart, Rory McIlroy over Justin Thomas in the Players Championship. Pablo Escobar, Sammy B in the house. Denver -2. New Orleans -1.5. Hawks, Atlanta Hawks -4.5. And Pelicans team total over. I'm going to copy and paste that right now and get that onto my worksheet. Here we go. We got lots to talk about, and that Minnesota game popping off in 25 minutes, so we give lots of time to lock in action there. Lots of time to lock in action there. A lot of people on the Kings this evening. I've only made one look at NHL. I don't have a lot going on. Coco Bongo says Embiid just announced tonight. We're going to talk about that. Ron Lofton, Ulysses Hayes, Akira 04, Danny Menlo, Michael Ervalina, King Weasel, ready to go. Says, can someone tell me why Nuggets line went to 3.5? Now it's at 2. We're going to break down all those spots. And Not Applicable says, is the Anaheim game canceled? What do you mean Anaheim game canceled? No. I've not heard anything about that. Dan Kelly, though, on a serious note, says, it will affect the games and how to cap them. There are no games on my spreadsheet that were played with no spectators. Wow, a lot going on. Jansen says, Jimmy, do you play poker every night? No, just on Monday nights, and then we also have one big comics game a month. Kevin Pine, RW, Not Applicable. Dylan Turner, Dav Fenn. Great group. Nilo says, Corona can't penetrate Parkdale. We just had a fire in one of these apartments. Not in this building, but someone died. It's a lot of mayhem in Parkdale today. On mayhem. West Coast ready to get to work. Everybody ready to get to work. RW says, I'm a Modelo man. Kevin Pine says, was last night a sweep in the NHL, went 5-0 in everyone's place. You're damn right it was, Kevin. Sweep in NHL last night. Feels good. All right, let's pop off with a game that's going to jump in 23 minutes. Let's go to market moves and get this shukra. Kalak it. All right. Northwestern Minnesota. Minnesota opening up at -8.5. Now 8's across the board. This total opening up at 136. Now we have 135. We're going to talk about this one NCAA basketball game. Then we're going to move through the market moves and injury updates in NHL and NBA, and then go back to NCAA basketball. Kevin Pine says, we need you pissed off every show. No, I'm going to get hot. I'm going to get hot in NHL. I haven't got hot all year. I've been waiting for it very patiently. My bookie's being very thankful. Spencer Pennergy says, need another big NHL night. I'm not looking for a big NHL night. I'm keeping it pretty simple right now. The only spot I really like is the Chicago Blackhawks. But let's get into NCAA basketball right now, and then we're going to move over. We are going to move over to NHL quickly, NBA quickly, and come back to NBA or NCAA basketball. We're talking Big Ten, first round, Big Ten. And Dylan Turner, play of the day, 76ers team total over 111.5. There's Brandon Ware in the house. Paco Healy ready to go. Diesel Eugene, Funky's Eat Mid Bruno NBA action has been cashing. Diesel, not that I'm surprised, but you've been cashing. And Michael Irvalina says, I do agree with Jimmy on unders on every single game with no fans. Players won't be used to it. They're just, the big thing for me will be those who live bet heavy. The momentum will be so different. There just won't be the same momentum. There's Jimmy J in the house. All right, let's get to work right now. Nilo jumping on Arizona first half. Jansen says, don't get too caught up with Northwestern's record. It is the playoffs after all. It is the playoffs after all. There's Elio in the house. Elio, we're coming off a big day. All right, let's talk about this Northwestern Minnesota spot, because there's a lot of truth with what Jansen's saying about the records. There's a lot of truth about it. Yes, Dylan Turner, the taint play today is North Carolina. Northwestern looked awful all year. 3-17 in the Big Ten. 2 of those wins came in the last 3 games. They closed out a very disappointed season with some positivity. An 80-69 home win over Penn State on Saturday helps. 7-5 against the spread this season is Northwestern. Minnesota stopped a 3-game losing streak with an easy 107-75 win at home over cellar dwellers Nebraska on Sunday. 2 players on this team only. Oturu, he protects the rim. Marcus Carr, 15.5 points, 6.7 assists, but little else. Minnesota beat up Northwestern easily in both matchups this year, but one team is moving in the right direction, one team is moving in the wrong direction. West Coast says Cinderella teams will have less pressure, possible advantage taking the points. And Nicholas Fogg says, where there is adversity, there is opportunity. Shout out to our Nicholas Fogg. Roy Belma says, hey, Jimmy, wouldn't scare you if 83% on UNC, the taint play? Yeah, it concerns me. It concerns me. It concerns me that Ragu and Guru are on the other side. And, yeah, I've got some concerns. I bet it. Look, Taint's putting money in all our pockets. So I just, sometimes you got to not question things and go with it. Sometimes you got to go with it. Joe Anisi did already cash the work play of the day for them. First half money line. Nice job. Nice job. All right. Northwestern, Minnesota. This is a Northwestern or no play. And I guess I'm sitting on no play right now. Ulysses Hayes says it doesn't concern me. UNC needs this. Anthony Thomas, I did not take for them. I wish I did, but I did not. Roy Belma said, I'm just waiting for them on a parlay 4-team leg. Nice. Nice. Not a lot of talk on this game that pops off in 19 minutes. This total opening up at 136.5 down to 135 or 135.5. And Guillermo says, in Taint we trust. Sometimes you just got to trust. Sometimes you just got to trust. I don't know, Nilo. It sounds like the head of the NCAA shut that all down, but we will find out. We will find out. Ulysses Hayes says they're on the bubble, got to win the tournament. They're not on the bubble. They're just not going to play in the tournament. They're not in the tournament at all unless they win it here. Unless they win it here. Well, looks like nobody's making a move on Northwestern plus the points. I don't want to get too caught up in that Penn State game. And Nilo said 1 minute ago, I DM'd you. Okay. Jimmy J cashed NC State -3 and George Mason -5. Great work. And Kevin Pine says, can my Rangers keep it going tonight against Noah McKinnon? I think so, but I'm hesitant to pull the trigger on them. Northwestern versus Minnesota. Minnesota 8-12 in the Big Ten. It's Northwestern or no play. Do we even bother? Roy Belma says, what do you think about the over on the North Carolina game? Let's see what market we've had movement here on that North Carolina spot. It is a later pop-off here. Let's grab it right now. Opening at 148.5, now up to 149.5. Ulysses Hayes says, pull that trigger. DJ Hunter Grant says, Northwestern is the play. Akira04 is on the Golden Gophers -4.5. First half. Joe Anisi's making a move on Minnesota -8. Also Washington +6. God, the Huskies. What a mess. I am not going to make a move on Northwestern here. I mean, that overtime win over Nebraska. If Nebraska didn't go like 8 for 30 from the foul line, that would never have happened. Did Penn State even care? Did Penn State even care about that last game? I'm not going to. I'm not making a move. All right, that game's popping off in 17 minutes. Junior Brown wants to talk Marquette, Seton Hall. Junior Brown wants to talk Marquette, Seton Hall. That action pops off tomorrow. I have more work to do on that game, Junior Brown, and can't really give you good stuff right now. But we have Junior Brown. I need you to stick with us because I need to talk NBA right now. But first, we're just going to go over NHL and get that done with so we can focus on NBA. NHL, I'm on one look. We're coming off a perfect 3-0 day, up 3.68 units, I believe, or is it 3.62 units? Let me grab it right now. 3.62 units. The Icon checking in. Thank you for coming in, Icon. Viper MB, college plays are Iowa +6.5 in the over 128 in the App State game. That's from the Icon. All right, first off, let's take a look at if there's any goaltending changes that we weren't expecting. Let's start right there. And let's start right there. Aaron Dell, Corey Crawford, that's what we were expecting. I feel good about the Blackhawks. Very good about the Blackhawks. We got Raven in the desert in the house. Spencer Penningy says 4-0 last night in NHL. Looking for another sweep too, Jimmy. Love it. Connor Hellebuck, Mike Smith in Winnipeg, Edmonton, and Connor McDavid will be in the lineup. Jake Allen, Ryan Miller. So no. We're still thinking Anthony Stolars. We're expecting Stolars. That's what we're expecting. Nilo says, got new headphones so I don't annoy my wife with your voice. Hey, that'll happen. That'll happen. I'm going to be creeping through your window, whispering while you guys go to sleep just to piss her off. And RW saying Northwestern neutral is a bad team. There's Rob T in the house. Icon on Winnipeg. Georgiev, we don't know if it's Georgiev or King Henrik at this point. Pavel Francouz has been confirmed for the Avalanche. That's what we expected. And it looks like it's going to be Cal Peterson. For all of you guys backing the Kings tonight, he's been very good of late, but I don't really want him. Johnny Quick's playing very good right now. It's going to be Cal Peterson for all you guys backing the Los Angeles Kings. And Flipper adding Syracuse for the show. So there's a third excellent capper going up against the Taint play today. That scares me. Yes, it is. It's scary times. But I tell you what's not going to get affected by the coronavirus. This show. All we need is me. That's all we need. I will be here. I barely see outside. I barely go outside. I think I was outside for about 3 minutes today. Don't worry. I'm safe in here. Needle says the bag is corona-free. Okay, let's talk about the market moves quickly in NHL because there's no surprises with the goaltending, although those of you... And Jansen says Jimmy's actually in a shipping container. Liberty Finder says self-quarantine. Yeah, I don't need anything. I do need to hit the liquor store. That is one thing I do need to do. Okay, let's talk NHL right now, and let's get through it quickly. San Jose, Chicago. Chicago opening up at -147. They're now at -165. I'm on the Blackhawks confidently. You take off Hurdle, Carlson, and now their captain Couture. Come on. I just don't see, even though the Blackhawks are dealing with injuries, the Blackhawks need this win. They're an angry hockey team right now. And Topset says going live with you in that bomb shelter. Respect. And Dan Kelly says have them deliver liquor by drone. Not a bad idea. And Not Applicable says booze kills bacteria, but what about the viruses? That is a good question. But don't worry, I'm going nowhere. I'm on the Blackhawks. I guess I have some interest in the over 6, but I'm very confident in the Blackhawks. Wyatt wants to talk Oilers. Let's talk about them right now. Edmonton opening up at minus 132. They're now minus 147. Of course I remember Dial a Bottle. Of course. And they would bring it to you any time of the day. It was excellent. This total has moved down to 5.5 in Jets Oilers. Interesting. And the money line moved very quickly once the announcement of Connor McDavid was going to be in lineup. At one point, it was minus 124. We're now dealing with a minus 138. Jets are playing good hockey. How healthy is McDavid right now? I respect that he's trying to play tonight, but he's been dealing with the flu. We broke this game down deeply on the morning show. And Eakin, who looked bad all year for Vegas, has stepped up. And Ehlers and Laine needed some spark because this is two players that they have to have rolling because all the offense is coming from that Scheifele-Connor line. And the Jets also get Adam Lowry back. I'm comfortably not on this game. Jets healthy, fresh, playing good hockey. Spencer Penny got the Oilers at minus 131, part of my parlay. I get it. JP's on the Kings. I don't want Cal Peterson, regardless of how good he's been the last few games. I want Johnny Quick if I'm going to take the Kings on this winning streak. So I don't expect to add too much action until we get to NBA and NCAA basketball. I don't expect to add much action. And Shadow in the house. Great to have you, Shadow. Thank you for joining us. And he's on San Jose, Chicago over 6. Interesting. Winnipeg money line, Rangers money line, and Kings in regulation. All right. Let's move on to the next spot on this card. Blues, Ducks, very quickly. St. Louis, Anaheim. St. Louis opening up at minus 175. They're now at minus 193. We're still waiting for Stolarz to be announced in the lineup. The Blues are playing good hockey. The Ducks are on the improve. The Ducks are playing good hockey too, and it's surprising. I guess they needed a few games to figure out what they were going to do defensively because they were missing big parts of that defense. They figured it out, and they're playing better. I do not want big road favorites ever on my card. Those of you who are making moves on St. Louis, I get it. But I'm not making a move on Blues, Ducks. Let's move on to Rangers, Avalanche. Can the Avalanche step up without Nathan McKinnon is the question. Can they step up without Nathan McKinnon? Because it's not just Nathan McKinnon they're missing. This team is just dealing with injuries in every single possible spot. Their toughness is gone. They don't have Kadri to center that first line. He's out too. They're missing their top two centermen. How do you not take the Rangers in this spot? Can the Avalanche step up in this game? Can they? Is that possible? And Jake Allen is likely in that, says Jason Lowry. Interesting. Nemesnikov, good thing they picked him up off the Senators. He's on this first line with Nichushkin and Landeskog. Landeskog's going to play 40 minutes. Then Donskoy, Comfer, and Jost. Nieto, Bellemare, and Kaut. Kamenev on the fourth line. Makar is back in the lineup. Makar is playing tonight. Interesting. Wow, this is not a people says Colorado sounds like a shit to bed to me. I don't know how they do anything here. And top sets on North Carolina and Denver tonight. Those are two of my three plays, so that makes me feel good. Joe Anisi says Rangers are pass. It just seems a little too easy to take the Rangers here, and I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. JP says Makar's back, but I'm on the Rangers. I'm going to watch this game very closely. In fact, I hope Colorado wins so that we can fade them next game. All right. Shadow has a good-looking card here. He is on the Rangers' money line. And Lundqvist is in net for Joe Anisi. He says, Lundqvist is in net. That scares me. He's not been good on the road this year at all. I'm comfortably off this game. I'm very curious to see how this Avalanche team plays without McKinnon tonight. And I bet you they play very strong defensively. I really think they play a tight defensive game here without McKinnon. So much so that I think that the under's got to be in play. I think the under has got to be in play. Von Polo, it's not about you. It's just about finding value, fading this team moving forward. We'll get more value if they win. Not applicable says Colorado an under game. It's got to be an under game. I'm hesitant to bet unders with the Rangers playing, but this just is screaming unders to me. We know how much offense is missing from Colorado, and we know how tight they're going to play. Jason Lowry says, yes, bad spot for Rangers, lean over. Viper and Beast is going to tell you on the Blackhawks, take me to riches. Just have a feeling like this is an under game. And Colorado plays very tight. Dump and chase tight. Okay, I'm going to leave that as a lean, as a possible addition right now. I don't want to sit here and hum and haw, but without McKinnon, JP says Colorado first game back from short road trip. Nilo, I'm on the Blackhawks -1. It's pretty much 125. For me, it's a $200 bet. So it's 125 on the money line, 75 on the puck line. Do with that what you may. God, I'm just going to take one more look at these lines for Colorado. Nemesnikov is not a defensive center. Nemesnikov, Landeskog, Nichushkin. Nichushkin is not a defensive forward. So Landeskog is going to have to be the defensive responsibility on that line. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do it. All right. And Dan Kelly got Blackhawks -1 even money. Yeah, I got it at +102. So I get it. All right, I'm not going to make a move. Let's and then in this Kings game, I know Cal Peterson's been playing great. But I'm hesitant to back him here. I wanted quick. You're taking this team, this bad hockey team, as a big favorite. That all makes me uncomfortable. Is Stolarz capable of standing on his head against this Kings team? He is. But Stolarz hasn't even been fully announced yet. This is a tricky NHL card. If I leave this NHL card alone and just have Chicago -1, I have a lot of confidence that I'm going to come in here with a profitable situation. So I don't think I'm going to push it. Roy Belma says is getting -1.5 at +160. I believe that's right around where we got it. I got it a little higher than that, in fact. I actually bet it at +165, but I was doing the Mike Richards show, and Mike Richards is a Sports Interaction, is the supporter of Mike Richards' show. So we gave out the Sports Interaction lines, which were actually the same because it was -165 +171 in Sports Interaction. It was -160 +165 at Bet365. So it's pretty much the same. There's Juan Ruiz in the house. King Weasel says, I don't see much good spots tonight. Brad Hansen says, go with your gut, Jimmy. Okay, I'm just going to leave it. Let's move on to NBA. Hopefully Junior Brown's still rolling with us. And let's start looking at these spots and market moves here in NBA, and then get to NCAA basketball as fast as we can. Only 6 games to get through, so let's move quickly. Philadelphia opening up at -11, now -12. There's a 12.5 at Bovada. This total opened up at 213. It's now at 210.5 or 210. And Killer Beast is actually leaning under in Sharks Blackhawks game. I rarely take unders. Barham Dog Jenkins, we've missed you. Nice. Team's coming together. The team is coming together. Yeah, I'm sure I could, Flip. I'm sure I could, Flip. Let's talk. Nilo did jump on the Pelicans now. All right, let's start with Detroit, Philadelphia. Now, is Embiid... God, Embiid's such an enigma. What the hell is Embiid going to do here? Nancy Nate got it at -0.5 at -110. There you go. Dan Kelly's on fourth quarter, Philadelphia -2. Rob T says Embiid and Richardson back tonight. Philly tempting. There's Kevin Riley back in action, ready to go. You know what? There's too many question marks here with Embiid coming back in the lineup. I like seeing Jay Rich back in the lineup, but this total's not going up. Actually, Bookmaker just shot it up. Will the other books follow suit? Bookmaker just moved that up to 212. Bookmaker just moved that up to 212. Too many question marks. With Jay Rich and Embiid back, I guess. Also, I mean, what didn't they lose? Let me just see this. Didn't they lose Henson as well? Let's see what this starting lineup is for the Pistons. If any of us have any belief in this starting lineup, I don't see how we could. Let's just take a quick look here. We're still waiting on Rudy Gobert announcement. Let's see what we're dealing with. Bruce Brown is now a game time decision. Oh, that's ugly. That's just horrifying. All right. Diego says, take the under. I got it 213. Nice job. It's down to 210. I'm not going to do that. Rob Stevenson in the house. All right. I'm off Detroit, Philadelphia. Let's move on to Knicks, Atlanta right now. Broke this game down quite a bit on the early show. Atlanta opening up at -4.5. Now they're sitting at -5. They're getting healthier. They have locked in their lineup there. The one confirmed lineup right now: Young, Herder, Hunter, Collins, Dedmon. Young, Herder, Hunter, Collins, Dedmon. And catered to you by Chef Jeff, liking the Hawks over. My initial lean was towards the under. And it got up to 232.5 or 233, and I said it on the show. My ROI is actually negative when the market move is moving to the over. And when I look at the pace of these two teams, I want to make a move on the under. All that said and done, I'm staying off. Drinking Hands is over. And Dan Kelly on second half, New York Knicks, Atlanta over. Which makes me think that the under first half might be the look. It's gone down to 230.5 right now. Kevin Riley liking Atlanta. DA in the house liking the Knicks money line. 118.5. 118.5. Interesting. Very, very interesting that this is a 230. And the first half is up to 118.5. There's Mickey Cohen in the house. Thank you for joining us. That first half under is appealing. There's been no movement on that first half under. Oh, I guess what I'm talking about. Of course it did. It went up to the, DA says it's going to be a great day, Jimmy. I can feel it. Like that positivity. Kevin Riley says tough card in NBA. I only pulled the trigger on the Nuggets. There's a schnizzle in the house. Got some tequila in them. Respect. Mickey Cohen liking the Hawks game under 2. I could have gone with my gut. I did not go with my gut. Shadow with a 14 parlay here. Copy and paste that from our friend Shadow. Great capper. Okay. It's just me today, Nilo. It is just me, my friend. And Mickey Cohen's on Detroit plus 12 big. Interesting. All right. I am not. The first half under 118.5. It's appealing. And Jason Lowry says over agree on New York, Atlanta. 6-7 cappers I follow all the over. Dan Kelly says a way to play that first half under is to play the full game under, and then, if available, get on the middle at halftime. If there's nothing there, let it ride. That is a way of doing it. All right, I have a lean to that first half under. I'm just going to leave that as a lean. And I have a lean to the under in the Avalanche game. I'm going to leave that as a lean. JP says, are we on North Carolina? We are. Oh, and look at Flipper. Just took 2 shots of Pepto. Get it. Get that in you. It is the taint play of the day, JP. So, yes, we are. Let's move on to Hornets Heat. See what's going on here. Let's move over back to full game. Here we go. Hornets Heat. Heat opening up at -10. Now they're -10.5. This total opened up at 211.5. It's all the way down to 207. Wow. All the way down to 207, which must mean that Jimmy Butler's toe is no longer a problem. Let's get that confirmed right now. Let's get his toe confirmed right now that he's good. Won't be any whining. Let's get that right now. Let me pull that up. Here we go. Jimmy Butler's toe. All right, let's pull this up right now. Do we have information on Butler's toe? Oh, Butler out for the night. Butler out. Okay. Butler out for the night. Interesting. Butler out. And Hero's not going to be good if he plays. Let's see if Kendrick Nunn is in. All right. I have kept the window open so that I wouldn't sweat buckets, but I'm going to have to close it. There are children playing. The happy cries of children. All right. Kevin Riley liking the over 208. Rozier questionable. He's been downgraded. Kendrick Nunn will be available. And the drop your nuts play today is the Heat team total over. God, these teams' pace have been so slow. Slow as molasses lately. Hornets 30th in the NBA, 92.64. Heat 26, 97.0 possessions a game. Heat have been off since Sunday night, so we thought that buckets would be available. He's not. Razor sharp picks in the house. God, this is a tricky card here. And we're coming off a big winning night, and I do not want to reach. All right. Jay Crowder concussed, Myers Leonard out. Not me. Wide also on Denver Nuggets. All right, let's move on to Jazz Thunder. Let's move on to Jazz Thunder right now. Let's see what kind of market move we're talking about with the Utah Jazz, OKC Thunder. OKC opening up at -2. Pinnacles moved it down to 3. It's 3.5 everywhere else. This was off the board throughout the morning show. We were waiting to hear about Rudy Gobert. Don Corleone says the ball will move with Jimmy Butler out. There's no doubt about that. Spencer Penny G saying Gobert is still questionable. So we're not getting any more information on Rudy. Aaron Woods on Jazz plus 3.5. I would sure like to know. And Needle said it was just on Twitter 21 seconds ago. I want to take OKC here. Nasty Nate's on the Nuggets with us. Rob T says lean Thunder, but I haven't got to the window yet. I guess for me, I didn't want this action to be forced by me watching how bad the Jazz played against the Raptors on Monday night. Heart in Hand playing Jazz plus 3.5. You guys that are on the Jazz, Aaron Woods, Heart in Hand, could you yes, Junior Brown was all over OKC this morning. Could you expand on why you like the Jazz tonight? Heart in Hand says Jazz been playing better with Gobert off the court. J Money and Teddy covers on Utah. Wow. Spencer Penny G says Jazz are a fake good team. Not me, as Jazz is on the under. David Hutton, Players Championship. Reed, Leishman, Damon, Kim, Morikawa, DeChambeau, and Simpson. Get it, David Hutton. Good luck. Kevin Riley leaning OKC. JD Sportsnet says Jazz are garbage. It feels like a spot where Anthony Chalmers, I don't hate on that play. Holberg was terrible last night. It was over after the first period. Now they have Anderson back in net. He's been playing better. He's played in a long time. My guy EJV in the house. Thank you for joining us, EJV. Spencer Penny G liking your action, David. Heart in Hand says Thunder 0-5. Wow, interesting. Wow. I did not know that. Heart in Hand. DA saying Utah can't be trusted. I think the Thunder are in a nice spot here. And watching Inglis is got to be the ugliest player on the court, ugliest good player on the court. God, he's so slow. His turnovers against the Raptors were unbelievably bad. Rob T says, when's the last time the Jazz beat a good team on the road? Akira 04 coming in, Pistons plus 12, play of the day. And Dallas plus 2.5. Avalanche on the three-way money line in Ottawa. Wow, Akira, that's an interesting card. It's a very interesting card. EJV liking Charlotte plus 10.5. And first quarter money line for top set. Silver Gold in the house. Thank you for joining us. King Weasel says if OKC was on the road, I'd be more happy to take them. The Jazz winning streak, other than that win against the Celtics, who were all beat up at the time, was against really bad basketball teams. Dirty Birds is on OKC minus 2.5. God, I'm close to pulling the trigger. I'm very close to pulling the trigger. I'd be very comfortable if I had Denver and OKC on this card. Bet365 has moved it to minus 3. So is Pinnacle. There is Cynthia Paniagua in the house. Has cashed on this AM's 2-team parlay. Nice, Cynthia. Get it. Razor Sharp Pick says, how do you feel about the no fans in college basketball? I think that it's going to lead to lower scoring, and I think it's going to lead to less momentum. So I don't think there'll be as many comebacks. I don't think there'll be as much magic. Kevin Riley thinking the under 219 is the stronger side then. Topset says OKC should come out strong. And Rozier just ruled out. God, those of you on the Heat. Wow. Thank you, Bobby Tavares. Thank you, Heart and Hand. Great stuff. Great information from you guys. All right, I'm pulling the trigger on OKC. DA says pull the trigger, and I am. OKC -3. And it's that doesn't mean that I think there'll be no Cinderella team. I think that if a Cinderella team's up 15, it's going to be harder for that juggernaut team to come back. Raven in the Desert says, walk in the hounds in case you're scared. Oh, in case you cared. Oh, sorry. In case you cared. Didn't read that properly. All right, I'm pulling the trigger. OKC -3 at -108. I'm pulling the trigger. Let's grab this right now. OKC -3 at -108. That's the first edition on the card. First edition on the card. All right. Lotus Scalper says less crowd noise means better shooting. Interesting. Okay, Nuggets -2.5. I'm on them. I got -2.5 and -102. And Lotus Scalper says more points. Interesting. Interesting. I made the move here on the Nuggets -2.5. Now it's -2 at Pinnacle. It's -3 at Bovada. There's 2.5s all over the place. And Nilo says Liverpool in extra time. Jump on them. Not applicable says don't trust Nuggets on the road. I want to see Dallas do this without KP. I want to see Jokic step up. I'm comfortable with the Nuggets -2.5. And then we get into Pelicans Kings. God, this was a play where I came so close to pulling the trigger on Sacramento, and I'm fine that I didn't. Rob Stevenson making a future bet on Michigan State. They have come together late in the season. There's been no market move here. We were dealing with 1.5. This total is where it was. It had dropped down to this number. And more talk about these Nuggets on the road. 18-13 on the road this year. Spencer Penny G doubling up on the Pelicans. This is a well-rested Sacramento team. A tricky, well-rested Sacramento team. Second game of a 4-game homestand. We saw what that was like for the Blazers. You know, in all honesty, I don't want to go up against a Spencer Penny G double up. And I know the Pelicans need this win. But if I had a free play, it'd be on the Kings. And Jonathan Roden making a huge move on Sacramento money line. Wow. Wow. Kevin Riley leaning to Denver as a stronger look at the over 220.5. A lot of people are on the Pelicans tonight. And I guess that'll keep me off the Kings. But I'm telling you what, if I had a free play, I would make it on the Kings without a doubt. I like that second game of a 4-game homestand, especially when you lose the first game. I love it when you lose the first game. Jonathan Roden laughing, saying 89% of money on the Pelicans. Oh, man. God, it makes my palms start sweating. Sacramento Kings. Let's just see what I get on the money line for the Kings. I like them here. Not applicable, leaning New Orleans, too. I don't need to force it. I don't need to add it. Lotus Copper says Kings are good. They should have beat the Raptors. Cameron Rice, Sacramento playing well. Ooh. Oh, man. I'm nervous about the baseball season starting. And Jonathan parlayed Kings and OKC as well. Wow. Jonathan, get after it, man. Yeah. I don't need to force it, but I like the Kings here. Heart and Hand says not playing, but would be on Kings with a free play. I saw that game. It was unbelievable. Kevin Riley on the Pelicans. The Pelicans, this is the first game of a 3 and 4 night, so they're not going to want to play their guys too long. They've won 2 straight. They're playing good basketball. All right, I'll stay off of it. Spencer Penny G says Lonzo prop. I've not been successful with Lonzo props. All right, that's it for me. And free pick saying Pelicans cover the spread. Okay, I've made an addition. I'm on OKC. So I'm on the Nuggets -2.5 on the road. I'm on OKC -3 at home. And Dav fan saying the Huskies are looking pretty good, up 24-23. Well, they're going to have to win out to get into the tournament. All right, let's move on to college basketball. What's going on in that Minnesota game anyways? Northwestern up 4-2. God, 6 points in the first 4.5 minutes. Unbelievable. Drinking hand says Jimmy, last 2 meetings, Atlanta versus New York. First meeting, 263. Second meeting, 275 in double overtime. I hear you. I've been watching these two teams, and the Hawks' pace is slowed down. It's slowed down. All right, let's move on to college basketball. We have 47 minutes before the witching hour. We're going to start with the big 7 o'clock games right now. Those include Boston College, Notre Dame, St. John's, Georgetown. We already know some cappers on Siena. I did not cap Manhattan, Siena. Let's cap and talk Iowa State, OK State. Georgia, Ole Miss. Let's talk that game. Those are the big 7 o'clock games that I want to break down right now. We're going to start with Cyclones, Cowboys. And King Weasel did jump on the Thunder -2.5. So King Weasel rolling with us. I like that. Anthony Chalmers says North Carolina game you think would be a nice under. Syracuse doesn't score much. I hear you, but let me just move over to spreads and totals. We've been watching this total up high in the 150s. Because we know that North Carolina is going to be running. This total is high, 149.5. It's gone up a full point. Spencer Pennergy says half the NBA's out with illnesses lately. This is getting out of hand. There's a lot of panic right now. A lot of panic. Okay, let's get to work. We're going to start here with Iowa State Cyclones up against the Cowboys. OK State Cowboys. Cyclones go 5-13 in the Big 12. First round of the Big 12 championship. The Cowboys go 7-11 in the Big 12. Iowa State is just a bad basketball team right now. And Gerald Jones saying Syracuse plays with faster pace this year. Oklahoma State opens up at -6. Now they're -6.5. This total's dropped 5 points, although bookmaker hanging a high one. This total's dropped 5 points from 142.5 down to 137.5. BetOnline and bookmaker have brought this up to 139. And free pick says take Arkansas to cover. Interesting. Repulate Gaming in the house. Thank you for joining us. Rob Stevens says Oklahoma State all day long. I agree with that. Let's talk about this more. So Tyrese Halliburton down for the year, wrist injury. Everything falls apart. Now Nixon and Bolton are questionable. Do we know if Nixon or Bolton are going to be in? Nixon with the ankle injury, Rasir Bolton with the concussion. Silver Gold is on the Nuggets -2.5. Hawks first half -2.5. OKC -3. OKC first half and Kings -1. I like it. I am playing the taint play today. I'm nervous about it, but I'm playing it. Kevin Riley and Rob Stevenson on OK State. Sorry, just going to be copying and pasting Silver Gold's action here. All right, let me get back to it. My apologies. Here we go. Iowa State. Whew. Iowa State closed out an ugly season. They've lost 3 straight. They've lost 5 of 6. They're coming off a 79-63 loss to Kansas State. Kansas State's a shit basketball team. They've lost 15 of 20. They're terrible defensively, 73 points per game they're allowing. Strong offensively. But are they going to be strong with these guards out as well? Iowa State 1-13 on the road. 1-13 away from Hilton Coliseum. And that they're 0-11 on the road. They're 1-2 on a neutral floor. 0-5 against the spread in their last 5 games. Is an underdog of 6.5 or less. There's Michelle Matson. Thank you for joining us. Rob Stevenson needs Oklahoma State and Marshall to the 4-teamer from yesterday. I love it. And I know how you feel, Michelle Matson, with that losing an under like that. Happened to me yesterday with UIC. Q Wilson. Gotta love Q Wilson. How the hell are you going to protect yourself against something you can't see, hear, feel, or smell? That's the movie coming out, right? The Invisible Man. Q Wilson. Iowa 7-3 versus Oklahoma. Michelle Matson on Colgate. North Carolina, TCU, and Indiana. Free picks says easy winner, take Detroit game under. Is that moving around? And Viper MB is on Iowa State. Wow. Wow. And, you're saying the Detroit under. Sorry. I was thinking Charlotte, Miami in my head. That's already gone down to 205.5 at Pinnacle since the announcement. Repula Gaming, I'm only on the Blackhawks. That's it. That's my only look. Chicago Blackhawks. God, I like Oklahoma State here. Let's talk about them for a while. They closed the season by winning 3 straight, 6 of 8, coming off an easy 81-59 win at Texas. They won 73-61 as 7.5-point favorites just, a week ago? Or no, I guess that's 2 weeks ago, February 29th. They started the season looking like a really good basketball team, right? They win the first 7 games, they're 7-0. Then they go on this bad run, and now they've turned it around again. They're a defensive team, 41st in the nation in defensive efficiency. They're not used to being a favorite. When they have been a favorite, they've taken care of business. Corey Lewis says Oklahoma shot 60% last game, won't do it again. No, Luka is in, Guillermo. It's Big Dick Zingas is out. And first quarter under 53.5. And Nilo just cashed that first half. Kevin Riley says take Oklahoma State easy money. Corey Lewis talking about them shooting 60% last time, won't do it again. Do we have information on those 2 guards? Is Nixon and Bolton? Does anybody know if Nixon and Bolton, who are both questionable, are going to be in the lineup? If we get word that they're not in the lineup, I'd be happy to pull the trigger. All right. I have a lean towards Oklahoma State. I think the Cyclones say goodnight in this game. All right, let's keep rolling. Let's move on. We're talking about these games that are popping off in 41 minutes. Georgia Bulldogs up against the Rebels of Ole Miss. First round of the SEC. Georgia 5-13 in conference play. Ole Miss 6-12 in conference play. And drinking hand says I'm drinking hard tonight. Respect. I wouldn't mind hitting the sauce myself. Kevin Riley. Wouldn't mind running with Kevin Riley on this Oklahoma State spot. And we do know officially from Free Picks that Butler and Rozier ruled out. Thank you, Free Picks. All right, let's talk about this. Georgia coming off that ugly 94-64 loss at LSU to close out the regular season. It was their second straight loss. We had a lot of sharp cappers on Georgia this morning. And Flipper 13, not feeling well. Taking shots at Pepto-Bismol. He is on Georgia. Plus 2.5. It was the look he made in the morning. Georgia 0-5 against the spread in their last 5 games in March. Ole Miss had their two-game winning streak snapped in the 69-44 loss to Mississippi State. Ole Miss beat Georgia. It was a 70-60 road win in their only time they met this year. If you watch Ole Miss play, it's just Breon Taylor. It's just Breon Tyree is doing everything for this team. Their only offensive option. They get stagnant with the ball. Freeze picks already took Georgia. Rob Stevenson says, I'm staying far away from that game. Ole Miss 9-4 against spread in their last 13 games. And they're playing really strong defensively. Really strong defensively. Both these games, are very similar. These 2 first games that we've talked about. Both teams, Oklahoma State versus Iowa State and Ole Miss versus Georgia, we have good offensive teams that are the dogs and strong defensive teams that are the favorites. G-Sauce in the house, 3-piece extra sauce, Old Dominion -2, Notre Dame -10, and St. John's -3. And if you want a biscuit with that, it's Kansas State money line. Thank you so much, Michelle Madsen. Much love to you. We are thankful to cap with you. Enjoy your night and get paid. Razor sharp picks on the Georgia under. Copy and paste this right here. Thank you for stopping by. What a treat it is to roll with Michelle Madsen. All right. I find Oklahoma State more appealing than Ole Miss. Razor sharp picks is on this Georgia under. That opened up at 144. It's still there at Pinnacle. It's up to 145 at Bookmaker, 144.5 everywhere else. And Dave Chimilio, don't think I didn't notice. Respect. You were going up against a lot of cappers. Respect. Razor sharp picks on the Georgia under. And Dave Chimilio off of Cashing with Sacramento say easily. And you delivered all the stats as to why you were doing it. It was great capping. Respect. And Nilo on Arizona first half -3.5. Arizona up 5 right now. Northern Arizona, man, with that big comeback in the second half, falling short. What a bunch of bums. What a bunch of... Well, I'm not on it, so I don't hate it. But okay. Well, I find Oklahoma State much more appealing than Ole Miss. Let's move on to the St. John's Red Storm, Georgetown. We got TikTok files in the house. Thank you for joining us. And Spencer Penny-G, that's what I wanted to hear. That's what I expected. Gilgeous Alexander officially in tonight for OKC. All right, let's talk Red Storm. Let's talk Hoyas. Yeah, I have the injury report that just says they're questionable. But thank you for looking, Nilo. Rob Stevenson, like in Boston College. We're going to talk about that spot as well. TikTok files. I'm from Vancouver. I'm living in Toronto right now. Come to Parkdale. That's where I am. Jimmy Stain on the Sixers team total over 110. All right, let's talk St. John's Red Storm, Georgetown. And the Hawks line's dropping back to 4.5, says King Weasel. St. John's, Georgetown. Let's talk about it. And Nilo is taking that OK State -6.5. I feel like doubling up. There. And Nilo says, Toronto guy now for life. I'd like to move to Vegas, Nilo. Nilo says, you can't leave Toronto. What will I do? I like it. Nilo. Okay, let's talk St. John's, Georgetown right now. Rob Stevenson liking St. Peter's money line. Let's see what we're dealing with in this Red Storm spot. St. John's getting to play at home at Madison Square Garden in this tournament. Opening up at -3.5. There's still 3.5 at bookmaker 4s everywhere else. This total opened up at 153.5. It's now at 151. Abdebet says no props. Yeah, none right now. Abdebet. And Abdebet, I don't force them. I really, really try not to force them. So I just let them be. St. John's coming off a big 88-86 home win over Marquette on Saturday night. Nice way to lead into the Big East tourney. They're 5-13 in conference. They needed that win for a little confidence. This Hoyas team without Yurtsevin, without Mac McClung is not good. They're not good. They're just playing out the string. They come into the Big East tourney losing 6 straight. That was a much, much better game in that 70-69 nail-biter at home to Villanova on Saturday. Ike Johnson, Devontae Graham points over. God, that makes a ton of sense, doesn't it? Ike Johnson, doesn't that make a ton of sense? Thank you for stopping by TikTok Files. That makes a ton of sense. Why wouldn't Devontae Graham go off now? Let's see if it's available in my book. 19.5. That just makes so much sense. All right, let's just take a look at what he's done of recent. We are going to stop everything right now because of Ike Johnson's call right there. I just think that might be just a spectacular call. Let's go here. I just wanted to get a quick look at what we've seen Devontae Graham do of late. Wow, Sonny Betts just got Graham at 17.5 and -125 at 5 times. Great look. Mine's 19.5, right? Is that right? Let's just double check that. 19.5 and -115. I bet you that just got hit. Razor sharp picks coming in. Ike Johnson said I got it at 17 before Rozier was ruled out. Oh, you know what? I knowing that I'm getting a 2.5 point worse look makes me very hesitant to pull the trigger. All right, let's go to Hornets. Sorry, Neil's saying he averages 18. There's my guy Rez Mob in the house. I'm going to copy and paste your picks, Razor Sharp, here in a second. I just want to get a look at what Devontae's been doing lately. All right, let's see. Devontae Graham's going to get all the run. All the run. Getting love for his action. Razor Sharp Picks getting love for his action. All right, so that double overtime game played 46 minutes, put up 27 and 10. 27 and 10. He's put up over 20 in the last 3 games. 23 against the Rockets, 24 against the Nuggets. King Weasel, I don't like those minus 150s. And Jimmy Stain getting ready to take Washington Huskies second half. Respect, Jimmy. All right, I'm going to copy and paste Razor Sharp Picks. Assists last 7 against Denver, 6 against Houston, and 10 against Atlanta. Oh, this is very, very interesting. Ike Johnson, I love where your head is at here. Respect. Let's see what I'd get if I go with assists as well. Let's make sure that 19.5. God, you guys got on at the right time. All right, points and assists. 26.5. 26.5. He's going to get all the run. He is going to get all the run, but he's going up against a tough team. He's going up against a tough team in the Heat. It could not be their night. Yeah, 420 Fuego, no Rozier. Spencer saying Graham's hit over 23 points in the last 4 games. I think it helps being on the floor with Rozier. You know what? I'm going to stay off of it. But I do understand the look, and it does make a lot of sense. He's not going to get the opportunities that he's been getting. I still think he's going to go for it, but it helps having Rozier on the floor because Rozier takes a lot of action. There's Lamont Williams in the house. Thank you for joining us, Lamont. Graham, over 7.5 assists tonight. 7.5 assists. 7.5 assists. You won't have Rozier hitting those buckets. Very, very interesting, Ike. Thank you for sharing that with us. Heat are a tough team. Heat are a very tough team. This totals down to 205.5 at Pinnacle. And 420 Fuegos is smashing that Heat team total over. All right, I'm not going to pull the trigger, but I find it a very interesting look I can respect. All right, let's get back to the St. John's spot. St. John's at home, 12-6-1 against the spread. They don't get respect. They're not getting respect here. Nice job, Nilo. David Chemilio kind of liking Heat first half. Ron Lofton catch that Arizona first half, -3. Great job. Georgetown comes in limping. They're just not a good basketball team. But they're coming off a good game. A good game when they stepped up there against Villanova at home on Saturday night. Now they go to Madison Square Garden where St. John's is so comfortable. Is -4 too many points? There's a 3.5 of Bookmaker. All right, I'm adding the St. John's Red Storm to my action. St. John's Red Storm. -3.5. -114. I'm adding St. John's. Nilo taking Northwestern live at +5.5. Northwestern playing Minnesota tough tonight. Was a move I could have made. All right. I feel like Oklahoma State takes care of business. I really do. I really do. Christopher Comatini says Red Storm. Book it. I like hearing that, Chris. Thank you. All right, let's just go back to that Oklahoma State look here. I'm going to double up on it. I'm going to double up on Oklahoma City. Oklahoma State, okay. Oh, respect, Ice Wallow come. Respect. I'm going to pull the trigger on Oklahoma State Cowboys. See what ICAST say. Lonzo Ball, points over 12.5. On fire lately, playing Fox, who he's killed since UCLA. Ty Vincent also pulling the trigger on OK State minus 6.5. Okay. I'm going to pull the trigger right now. All right. Oklahoma State Cowboys. Let's go. First half, I'm getting Oklahoma State. Let's grab it right now. Minus 3.5 at minus 110. It's available at a few different books. Oklahoma State, first half, minus 3.5 at minus 110. And then full game. The double up. There's Reagan Anthony. Reagan, thank you for joining us. And Ulysses Hayes says, I would take Iowa State plus 7. They were so bad on the road all year. That scares me, Ulysses. But I'm going to pull the trigger here. Let's go to full game. That scares me, Ulysses. Connor McLaughlin says, no need to double up. I just feel like they're in the right direction. They're going in the right direction. This Cyclone team looks bad, and this is the end of their season here tonight. Connor McLaughlin says no point to double up here. All right. Let me see here. Oklahoma State, full game, 6.5. Still 6.5 in my book at minus 110. Wendy Carducci said, Jimmy, please don't. Iowa State, easy cover. Wow. And Bolton is out for Iowa. So Bolton with the concussion out. Halliburton, we know, done for the year. Nixon dealing with an ankle injury. Did you see how bad they looked at Kansas State? Why did they look that bad? Kansas State sucks. Yeah, there's a bunch of guys on it. King Wheel, Jimmy Stain's on it. Jimmy Stain been eating on these team totals. Christopher Compton says Iowa State is terrible. Pink Eye Genie says Cowboys for the root. All right, I'm gonna Wendy Carducci. I'm gonna copy and paste Wendy Carducci here in all capitals, telling me not to, just so that if this loses, I can be like, God, why didn't you listen to Wendy Carducci? You son of a bitch. And Ulysses Hayes saying Iowa State plus 7 is the play. I'm going to copy that too. Gamero says Donnie loves OK State. All right, I'm going to copy and paste Wendy Carducci. My book's giving 3.5 and 6.5, which makes it more appealing watching the market go to 7. So I don't know if I would. Connor McLaughlin in my head as well. I'm pulling the trigger. Minus 6.5. Look, if I'm this hesitant at minus 3.5 and 6.5, I probably wouldn't pull the trigger on. I wouldn't pull the trigger on 4 and 7. Minus 6.5 and minus 110. I'm pulling the trigger. All right, we got lots of work to do on these 7 o'clock games. I apologize for taking so long here. I've added 4 looks on this card: 3 in NCAA basketball, 1 in NBA. Minus 6.5, minus 1. All right. Nice to have Pink. And Pink IG says, get it at 6.5. Okay. And Christopher Carr says, okay, State, don't get in the way of the team jumping ship. That's what's happening with Iowa State Cyclones right now. They're jumping ship. Zach Rodriguez says Xavier the play tonight. Zach, we have a lot of people on Xavier in the chat. A ton of people really believing in them. All right, let's move on. I've added St. John's as well. Let's move on to Boston College, Notre Dame. Eagles, Irish. See what we're dealing with here from a market perspective. Notre Dame opening up at -9.5 now, 10.5 or 10s. This total sitting at 140.5. And man, these two teams have played such tight games against each other. Not having Nick Popovich really, really hurts this Boston College squad. He's out for the ACC tournament. Second round ACC tournament right now. Rob Stevenson is on Xavier. A lot of guys, a lot of great cappers are on him. Oh, Wendy Carducci, I did not know about all those kids sitting. Don't love it now whatsoever, but so still betting it. That makes me feel a little better, Wendy. Respect, much love. Okay, Boston College, Notre Dame. Boston College closed the season in ugly fashion, losing 5 straight. Most recently, 80-62 of Florida State. One of those 5 losses was 62-61 nail-biter to these very Irish. They play these Irish so hard. So hard. First time they faced Notre Dame, a 1-point upset road win, 73-72 on December 7th. This Eagles team turns the ball over 18.8% of the time, and now they don't have Popovich to rely on. Notre Dame closed out. Also, they shot 62.9% from the free throw. Boston College cannot be trusted, but they play these guys tough, and it's 10.5 points, and I don't want to sit here with Notre Dame as this huge favorite. Thank you, Kevin Riley, letting us know that Iowa State Rasir Bolden out. Concussion. Notre Dame closed out their season with a 64-56 home win over Virginia Tech. This Notre Dame team does not turn the ball over. In 20 ACC games, Irish shot 44.9% of their shots from 3. If they're not... Respect, Sammy. I like it. I like it, Sammy. Our guy. All right. Notre Dame shoots poorly from the foul line. They're just not to be trusted. Thank you, Don Carleone. Respect. Thank you for watching the Who is Jimmy the Bag series. Thank you. Thank you. Your support, all of you guys' support is helping because we're looking for sponsorship, working on sponsorship. We've got some really exciting opportunities now and some offers coming in that we're so excited about, and it's because of you guys. Because the key thing with what we're doing here is we don't want your money. We want your money to stay in your pocket. We don't want a super chat. We don't want any of that shit. We want all your money to stay in your pocket, but we want money. And Flipper 13 going in hard on that under in the Heat game. I think you're in a great spot, Flip. I think you're in a great spot. AU Rocking going in the under 141, the Irish game. Von Polo says, I don't like Boston College, but I do like Boston University tonight. I hear you. Camo says, does your grandma really hurt you? Thank you, Juan Ruiz. Brad Hansen says, Boston 2-5 against spread, tournament record last 5 seasons. All right, I'm going to stick with that. Those are the 7 o'clock games I'm doubling up on the right, my double up is on the Cowboys. Sorry, I'm calling Broncos. I'm doubling up on Oklahoma State, and I'm taking St. John's. Ulysses says, Jimmy, do you like Rice tonight? I did not cap that spot. A lot of work to do. Wow, Northwestern up 2 right now. Wow. Very, very, very interesting. Rye Cape did eat Rice tonight. Nice to hear. And Christopher Carter just put Oklahoma State money line with Blackhawks money line parlay. Nice plus money. Great job, Christopher Carter. I like that. I like that quite a bit, actually. All right, we have 19 minutes before the witching hour. I'm going to have to make some bets here in a second. And we cap the 7 o'clock games. Let's talk about some of these games coming up because we've got a lot of cappers on them. There are big games. We've got another Big Ten game with Nebraska, Indiana. How bad is Nebraska? Just awful. Just an awful basketball team. But I don't want Indiana minus 14.5 or minus 15. It's a pretty simple pass. Indiana 9-11 in the Big Ten. I know Nebraska's bad, but 15? Don Carleone says, who is behind the camera for the series? That's my friend Garth. And he's coming out here because we're going to do a big thing here for Woodbine opening day. You'll see more of Garth. Garth's going to be around. Rob Stevenson says both Nebraska starting guards are out. Wow. Raven in the Desert plus 115 moneyline parlay St. John Siena. I like that. Moneyline parlay from Raven in the Desert. I'm going to copy and paste that. Last two parlays that have given out on the show. I've not played a parlay in a while, but I like Christopher Carter's and I like Ravens quite a bit. Dav fan liking FAU plus 1.5 first half. I'm going to copy and paste this quickly. All right. Indiana's not going to have to do much. And if they cover that spread, you'd have to think that this game would go under. Total at 144. And Gobert out. I like that, Jimmy. I like that, Jimmy Stain. Nebraska has 2 football players on the basketball team tonight. What a mess. So does that mean we take that under 144? It hasn't moved all day. Be interested to hear what you guys have to say about that. Okay. Let's take very quick looks at the rest of these big games on the card, and then we will go into the witching hour with cash. I have 17 minutes. And I've got to make some bets. Just 3 for the 7 o'clock games. All right. Vanderbilt, Arkansas. The coronavirus play today from Jansen Bonson is on Vanderbilt. That market's been going against them. Let's see what we're dealing with here in this Vandy spot. Interesting. Arkansas opening up at minus 8.5. Pinnacle is at minus 9.5. So is 5 Dimes. The rest of the books are at 9. This total sitting at 147.5. Yeah, Boca Hillbilly, what a joke. DJ 100 grand on Northwestern looking good, feeling good. And Will Turpin just jumped on a Oklahoma State Siena 2-team moneyline parlay. Nice job on Northwestern. I should have jumped with you guys there. We have Kansas State, TCU. A lot of people backing TCU this evening. They opened up at minus 1.5. Now they're minus 2.5. First round, Big 12. TCU 7-11 in the Big 12. Kansas State, bad year, 3-15. And Razor Sharp Picks says, I like the under in this game. Let's go over Razor Sharp Picks one more time. Flipper was liking his card. Let's take another look at what he's on. He's on the Minnesota game under 136, Georgia under 144, Heat under 210, Colgate under 140.5, Utah over 218, Arkansas under 147.5. UAB, UTSA, Jeff Roblo in the chat wondering about. Ulysses Hayes says TCU should be able to pull this off. I didn't spend enough time on this UTSA UAB game. UAB opening up at minus 1.5. Markets moved a point towards them. They're now minus 2.5. If any of you guys have feelings on this spot, please share it. Please share it with our Jeff Roblo in the house. DJ 100 grand like in the over in the Blackhawks game tonight. And Akira 04 make a 2-team parlay. Marshall moneyline and Xavier moneyline from Akira 04. So Razor Sharp Picks like in this under in Vandy, Arkansas. No movement. Pinnacle has gone a half point under. That is an interesting look from our Razor Sharp Picks. And Max likes the over, says Ben. Thank you for sharing that with us, Ben. Ulysses Hayes is on UTSA. There's Rich Kemp in the house. Thank you for joining us, Rich. Kansas State, TCU. 2 bad basketball teams. I expected TCU to be a bigger favorite here. North Carolina, Syracuse, ACC second round. It's a taint play today's on North Carolina, and we don't question the taint play today. But there's now a 2.5 available at Pinnacle, and a lot of sharp guys. Yeah, Akira looking at it too. Kevin Riley also on TCU. A lot of sharp guys are making moves against us. Taint play today. So just from memory, we have Big Ragu, Guru Sports Bets, and now Flipper 13. Connor McLaughlin says Ragu taintless today. Dave Chamilio says revenge game for Q's. RS says thanks for the show, Jimmy. For those that haven't seen his Bagumentary, check it out. Really funny. Thank you so much. And his only play is Iona Moneyline plus 115. RS, thank you so much for stopping in the chat. with those kind words and dropping a play. It's just wonderful. I own a money line for RS. And Flipper 13 says, yes, sorry, not sorry. Nice, Nuke Worker. Happy that you got through the day. Only 2 days left till the weekend where we can drink irresponsibly. Okay. Couple more games I want to just talk about. 13 minutes until the witching hour. We're about to put a bow on this. Next up, California, Stanford. We had some strong cappers. Well, only 2 of them, I believe, were on California. Let me pull it up right now. See if I can get to that California look that we talked about on the morning show. Can I pull it up? Rob Stevenson. That's who it was. Rob Stevenson. Cynthia Paniagua. Cynthia, thank you so much for joining us. Says my palms are itching so cash tonight. Thank you for joining us, Cynthia. Respect. And Sammy says Sharps pass on North Carolina, Syracuse. Nilo got on TCU early at -2. Pablo says, any thoughts on Vanderbilt? Well, the Jansen Bonson's play of the day is on Vanderbilt here. But Pinnacle moving away from them, that does give me pause. So Pinnacle's at 9.5, 5 Dimes at 9.5. All the other books are at 9. Good work. Good teamwork happening from Dav Fenn and Jimmy Stain. Love that. Ulysses Hayes says, pull that trigger on the Rangers. I'm just going to watch it very closely. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to watch it very closely. Nashville Predators making a run. Maybe my futures aren't garbage. Maybe they're not garbage. California looked awful against Oregon there last week. Awful. What, they lose by 40? They were gathering momentum. They were feeling good. Stanford's been good this year, although they're just 9-9 in the Pac-12. But they stepped up in the second half of the season. They're big dogs. California kept improving as the season went on. Maybe just throw out that game against Oregon. It was seniors night. Pritchett went off. Stanford opening up at -10, now 9.5 across the board. Ulysses Hayes making a move on McNee's money line. Mr. 508er says, what's the parlay of the day, Jimmy? There were 2 really nice parlays that were just given out. And I found them both appealing. Why can't I get them? I thought I copied and pasted them. Let me grab them here. They're not far up here. Raven in the Desert. Oh, yes. Christopher Carter. Oklahoma State money line. Blackhawks money line. Parlay. I think that's a quite an appealing parlay that was dropped there. I'd say that's my favorite parlay that I've read so far tonight. And then I also really like Raven in the Desert, St. John's, Siena. But Christopher Carter's action, that correlates with my action. So Oklahoma State money line, Blackhawks money line parlay is the most appealing. And Kevin Riley says, your Oklahoma State plays, count your cash now. And Mr. 508 says, I like it. Took OK State. Yeah, I think that's a really nice look that our Christopher Carter's on. Right there it is. OK State money line, Hawks money line. I like it. So do you guys think that California bounces back here? That's the question. Nilo saying, I think I'll do an the Thunder, Oklahoma State Cowboy parlay. Yeah, I like that. Those correlate with my action as well. DePaul, Xavier. So California, Stanford, Rob Stevenson back in Cal. Stanford was playing much better until that last road trip of the year. DePaul, Xavier. Xavier opening up at -6.5. That's where they stand. 6.5 across the board. This total opened at 134.5. It's down to 133. And we have a lot of guys backing Xavier. Dav Fan says, no way Minnesota loses to Northwestern. Johnny Raff says, Jimmy, what do you think of Washington State? This is a tough spot for them against Colorado. Colorado opening up at 9, now 10, 10.5. This total going from 138 down to 137.5. I do not trust Washington State. And Colorado's got to start making statement games. I do not trust Washington State, but I don't want Colorado as a double-digit favorite. The market's moving towards them. If I had a free play, I'd take Colorado. I'm not making a move there. Washington State 6-12 in the pack. Colorado 10-8. Colorado didn't finish that very strong, their regular season. I expect them to step up here and smash, but I do not want them as the double-digit favorites. Then we have DePaul, Xavier, and Ron Lofton moving on Cal plus 9.5. Kevin Riley liking Xavier. We have a lot of people on Xavier. And Ulysses Hayes pulling the trigger on Ole Miss. 8 minutes before the witching hour. I've got to make moves here. I only added 3 plays in NCAA basketball, doubling up on Oklahoma State and taking St. John's. It's crazy, West Coast. It's crazy. And the Thunder's now off the board? Come on. Oh, because Gobert's out and I haven't bet it yet. Of course that's happening. Oh, what a mistake I made. Of course that's happening. Oh, what a foolish mistake. I didn't even connect the dots there. I thought you don't need to rush it because 7 minutes before the witching hour. Let's go over everybody's action and put a bow on this. Let's go over it quickly. All right, RS is on Iona money line. Wow, Chris Brady, that's wild. That's wild. What a wild look. 50-1 that Brady doesn't take a snap week 1. Wow, that's wild, Chris. Not applicable. Ship the bet of the day, Colorado Avalanche. I like these coming back, not applicable. We love these. Ulysses Hayes on Iowa State plus 7 going up against me. Raven in the Desert. We talked about that money line parlay. St. John, Siena. I'm going to be talking real quickly here. We went over razor sharp picks. Minnesota under 136. Georgia under 144. Heat under 210. Great job on the Heat under 210, razor sharp. Colgate under 140. Utah over 218. Arkansas under 147.5. And Kings under 233. G-Sauce, 3-piece extra sauce. Old Dominion -2. Notre Dame -10. St. John's -3. Silver Gold is on the Nuggets -2.5. Hawks first half -2.5. Oklahoma City -3. Oklahoma City first half and Kings -1.5. God, Silver Gold. That makes me want to make that move too. Akira 04. Pistons plus 12 is the play of the day. Dallas plus 2.5. Avalanche 3-way money line. Ottawa money line. Shadow 14 parlay. Winnipeg money line. Rangers money line. Syracuse plus 2.5. And New Orleans Pelicans. Shadow's also on Sharks, Blackhawks over 6. Winnipeg money line. Rangers money line. And Kings in regulation. Joe Anisi made a move on Washington plus 6. Minnesota -8. Georgia Southern plus 5. North Carolina -3. And TCU -2. The cop being pays Connor McLaughlin's action as well. Viper MB says, why don't you bet it while you do the show? I should have. I should have. I just, when, I have to take a picture of it as well, which it doesn't take long. I should have. I should have. All right. Let's talk about some more. Okay, there's only 5 minutes for the witching hour, so I'm going to have 2 more minutes to keep going over action right now, and then I'm going to have to bounce. As we know, Matt Randall, team play of the day, is on North Carolina, but a lot of guys going against him. Flipper made a move on Georgia plus 2.5. Rob Stevenson, TCU -2, Colorado -8, Colorado -7, Xavier -4. Paulie C got on Xavier at -4 as well. Viper MB is on the over in the Heat game. Interesting. Utah. Oh, no, that was the Miami. I'm not sure. That was from the morning, so I'm not sure if that's Heat or Hurricanes. Rob Stevens is on California plus 10. Jimmy Stain made a move on the Hawks first half -2.5. Noli knows on the Manhattan Siena under and the Iona St. Peter's under. Raven in the Desert's on the under 232 in Atlanta Hawks game. Trev Dollars, Jazz plus 2. Denver -2.5. Leonard Welch took that Gophers team total over 71.5. He keeps hitting these. Is he going to get this one too? Oh, that one's in danger. That one's in danger. All right. Funkies Eat Meat Bruno, play of the day from Diesel Eugene. Sixers -11 and the under 211. He's also on Knicks plus 5. Over 231. Pelicans -2. Denver -2. All right, I'm going to go over my action. Then we're going to put a bow on this right now. In hockey, I'm on 1 play. I'm on the Blackhawks -1. I'm very confident there. I'm only on 1 play in NBA. Now, because of Gobert being announced out of the lineup, looks like it'll be the only play I make. Wow. I'm on the Nuggets -2.5. And Flipper13 says, I just bet Oklahoma State under 139. There's been a market reaction. Oh, please tell me bet 365 still hanging that 6.5 there. They are. Okay, good. Okay. Time to make moves. Let's get that cash. We had a giant Tuesday. We need a giant Wednesday. God, I wish I still had Thunder -3. Good luck on the Devontae Graham props. And I've added 3 plays in NCAA basketball. Sammy says Jazz win without Rudy. Let's get that cash. Let's get that cash. Let's go. And Viper, I should start betting while I'm on the show. It just takes time. Leche Es Los Bookmakers. Let's go. Back-to-back big nights. I will see you at 11 a.m. tomorrow morning, and I'll be wearing black because I'm going to have another winning night. Let's go. Thank you guys so much for watching. Chris Brady, Flipper13, not applicable. Razor Sharp Picks, Sammy, Connor McLaughlin, West Coast, Don Corleone. I've got 2 minutes to make my bets. I will catch you guys tomorrow at 11 a.m. Let's go.